Hi, Scott Orlin with Cinema Magazine. We are about to rise to the level of greatness. One of the most premier established writers there is working in the business today, Aaron Sorkin. Congratulations.
I can't possibly live up to that introduction.
Well, hopefully we'll rise there too. The new movie, Steve Jobs. I want to ask you, because throughout the DNA of Hollywood, there have been so many biopics, and you could have followed a very traditional path, but you wanted something different.
Yeah. Before I knew what I was going to do, I knew what I didn't want to do, and that was write a biopic. A cradle-to-grave story where you land on the character's greatest hits along the way. You have the scene where Steve and Woz say, hey, let's start a company in my parents' garage. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do something else. I kind of have a playwright's instinct when I'm writing, so I like claustrophobic spaces. I like compressed periods of time, especially when there's a ticking clock. And I got this idea after spending about a year or a year and a half talking to several dozen people who were very close to Steve, including all the characters who were in the movie, and getting an idea of where points of friction were in Steve's relationship. I got an idea to dramatize it all in just 3 scenes, 3 real-time scenes, each of which take place backstage in the moments leading up to one of his product launches.
I mean, obviously, every one of our lives is touched in some way by Steve Jobs, with the computer, with the iPhone. And I was wondering, how much does technology play into your world?
You know, I get a lot of use out of technology. Everything I've ever written, I've written on a Mac. I have an iPhone in my pocket. But I don't get emotional about technology. I don't get particularly excited about technology, and I knew that I couldn't write a movie about technology, that this was going to have to be about people, and technology would play a role, but it would play a more global background role, and that this was going to be a movie about a father and a daughter, a father and a partner, a father and a boss, a father and a friend, that kind of thing.
And the movie has gone through not a few incarnations, but over the course of time, there were other actors that were attached to this. So I was just wondering, I don't know, do you have an actor's voice in your head when you write? Because now it ended up in Michael Fassbender, who I know you initially weren't that aware of his work.
Yeah, well, first, to answer your first question, I don't have an actor's voice in my head. It's my voice. I'm playing all the parts in the worst possible version of whatever it is that I'm writing. I'm playing all the parts. What happened with Michael was that I was simply the only one in the world who wasn't at that time familiar with Michael's work. I had managed to not see 12 Years a Slave, not see Shame, not see X-Men, not see Inglourious Basterds. So I just asked the casting office to send me a Michael Fassbender care package. And after Michael's first scene in Inglourious Basterds, I sent an email to everyone saying we'd be out of our minds not to cast Michael in this part. He's going to be brilliant. And
just a last question for you. I understand there was, while you never met Steve Jobs, there was an interaction between the two of you?
Yeah,
is that correct?
I've never met Steve. Obviously, I never will. But he called me on 3 different occasions. Once was just to compliment the episode of West Wing that had been on the night before. He saw it and really liked it and was moved to call me out of the blue. The second time was to invite me to tour Pixar in the hope that I would write a Pixar film. And then the third time was to ask for my help on his Stanford commencement speech. And that's my relationship with Steve Jobs, and he couldn't have been nicer in any of those calls.
Well, you couldn't have been nicer here on this.
I appreciate it.
Thank you enough, Aaron
You
Sorkin.
bet.
Really appreciate it. And this is Scott Orlin. Until next time.